those will have an amazing opportunity to be the first ones to pick the
complete new scenario here. We are in the middle of our office.
Listen, obviously, I think everybody wants to.
Welcome back to Modern Living, the real deal. Today we are sitting with two of the agents from Modern Living. I think one new face you didn't saw before. This is Salvador. On the left side is Gregor. Maybe you introduce yourself first.
Yeah, of course. Pleasure to be here. My name is Salvador. I've been a broker with Modern Living for 3 months now. Prior to that, I was working in tech sales in the tech space. I worked for European and American startups before, so I got my professional start, but it wasn't as exciting as what's going on here in the real estate space in Dubai. So Gregor and I actually go a while back. We've known each other for almost 10 years now. I spoke to him, and I can thank him for this great opportunity, because that's why I'm here.
Amazing. I mean, Gregor, they will know you already, but maybe you can introduce you shortly.
Shortly.
Well,
it's good to be back again with another podcast. Last time I think we spoke about viewings and about our experiences we already had in viewing so far here in Dubai, and I think we came up with we have some really good stories which we told last time. So yeah, I'm excited to talk about a new topic as well.
Amazing.
And
Today,
some good stories.
Yeah, today topics will be in general new areas. I mean, we can talk about the Palm in general, new plots, new projects which came up, and also about it's your third month, I think so right now.
Yeah, we're starting now my third month.
So we can talk about some experience of yours, and to the viewers as well. We are in a complete new scenario here. We are in the middle of our office, not in our podcast studio. We are in the middle of the Opus Tower. You can see it from here, I think so. Yes. So let's dive in directly into the new projects. I mean, the Palm was, I think so, the biggest shake right now.
Yeah, I mean the new Palm, Jebel Ali Palm, I think is something everybody has been waiting for, and everybody is very excited. The project has been officially continued again, although the prices or all the property details haven't been officially launched. We just know it's coming. We don't know when, but I'm sure for the previous owners who have previously invested in the Palm Jebel Ali, they will be given priority, I'm sure.
Oh, you mean in the Palm Jumeirah they will be prioritized?
No, they have previously invested in Palm Jebel Ali, and then the project got cancelled.
Oh, okay.
So they will be the first. I know they were given a choice from Nakil especially to either keep the money in or cash it out, and those will be the ones who decided to keep it in. Those will have an amazing opportunity to be the first ones to pick the plots, apartments, villas, townhouses. As I said, we don't have any details yet, but it's something. It's a day everybody is waiting for, and I'm super excited as well, because what's happened to the Palm Jumeirah in the last 10 years
was crazy.
Is crazy, especially in the last 2 years. The prices, they have had an tremendous increase, and what's going to be really interesting about the Jebel Ali Palm is the prices they will launch at, because this will distinguish how interesting the project will be as well. Are they going to launch with really high prices in this current market? It is very hot.
Let's make a guess for 1 bedroom. And the villa.
I don't know. You know, the current villas on the Palm, if we're talking garden homes or something, you're looking at even for low numbers, you were looking at like 22, 23 million at the moment.
I know even the Cove villas have been sold for how much 2 years ago, 60, 70 million, and now they just blew up to even 25.
Yeah, I mean, everything which is on the Palm, and the more luxury it is, the more it has grown really. So really the ultra exclusive stock has grown a lot. But in terms of apartments, what's going to be really interesting to see as well about Palm Jebel Ali, in my opinion, will be how they separate the projects. You know, is it only going to be ultra luxury, or is it going to be, you know, something for everyone, which you have on the Palm as well now? There's cheaper options as well available.
I guess a legitimate question is, you know, it being twice the size of the original Palm Jumeirah, is there gonna open up room for more segmentation?
What do you think will come up? Because I mean, we have more space now. on the Palm. So what do you think would be the structure? What is your opinion?
I mean, listen, I haven't focused a lot on Palm Jebel Ali itself, but I think it actually sends a great signal for development on the mainland as well, because we know that Dubai has a goal to double its population from here out to 2040, right?
Yeah.
And most of that growth, as I mentioned recently in the LinkedIn article, is going to be southbound, right? 90% of that growth. And I think we know that Palm Jumeirah was a big anchor for growth in the mainland as well when it launched. And so Palm Jebel Ali, it being more southbound, I think if you look at all the adjacent terrain in the mainland, I think you're going to see a lot of development accelerating. I think we're going to see a lot of traffic being pushed south. And for people who are buying in properties in the mainland in more southern areas like Expo City, for instance, I think that's a great incentive as well. It's showing that, the government, the developers are putting their money and where their mouth is when it comes to this message. So I think Palm Jebel Ali definitely has implications broader than Palm Jebel Ali in that respect.
I'm excited what comes up on the top, like what they're doing there. Like obviously on the old Palm it was the Atlantis, the rare Atlantis we have on the right side. So I'm pretty curious what's going on there. How they going to do this with the hotels. I mean, we have the both sides access now. So there's not.
This is really important.
This is the biggest problem changing thing, whatever they did. So it's.
I mean, they always learn from their mistakes as well, right? Even though they're one of the biggest developers in Dubai, it was still a very initial, early project in Dubai, Palm Jumeirah.
Yeah.
And obviously, they managed to figure out that a way that it doesn't sink and it doesn't fall apart, obviously. But in terms of infrastructure, there's a lot of work to be done, especially if you live there as well. In terms of access roads, in terms of getting from point A to point B.
Yeah.
Literally sometimes you need to cross the road on the Palm and it's a 7-minute drive, because you need to do a whole U-turn, you loop, and this is something. In terms of infrastructure, I'm sure they will do in Palm Jebel Ali much better than they have done in the Palm.
Hopefully.
Jumeirah.
I mean, we have much more space. It's like not only when you have the crescent and you just, you have some plus on right, depends. But on this one, when you go, you have right and left on the crescent.
Yeah.
So it's like huge. It's like you said, double the size. It will be amazing and interesting what they're going to do there. I mean, plots will be also sold, I think so, way faster.
Yes, I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of demand for custom built as well.
Yes.
Usually what they do is they put some sort of time limit on the plots as well. How
long it should take.
No, they give you a time period and say within six years, let's say, you must build on that plot.
Yeah.
I know it happens in a lot of plots now, just so the whole land doesn't remain empty and it doesn't look good as well if they start building. But I'm excited. There must be a new landmark coming, Atlantis, Royal Atlantis,
something like
Palm Tower, on the Palm.
The Imperial Atlantis. I think at this point they got to start coming up with new.
They just launched the Como residences as well on the Palm. So let's see what they're doing there and what tower there will be, because we have the Palm Tower, we have the Royal Atlantis, we have the Atlantis and the Como. So they're some kind of outstanding projects. So let's see what's going on there.
For sure, but as what's going to be really interesting, as I said before, it's going to be the price segments of those projects, because you cannot fill up the new Palm with only Como residences.
Yeah, true.
Starting at 22 million. It's a huge size. We've got 2 times the size of the Palm Jumeirah. There's a lot of wealthy people in this country, but there is an end to everything. And
I wonder what will be the implications for the people who are owners in Palm Jumeirah. I mean, do you think that there's a chance that when Palm Jebel Ali comes out and it's a shiny new toy, Palm Jumeirah risks looking comparatively inferior somehow?
I think. Do you think the prices will drop on the Palm Jumeirah? Obviously.
I mean, obviously it's kind of like demand and supply, right?
That's the thing.
If there's a lot more supply on the market, then and the demand remains the same, obviously the prices they tend to decrease if there's a lot of ready properties. But at the same time, it's not ready. Like people, they want to move to the Palm, they want to move in, they want to buy a house, they want to live there with their kids, or they want to buy it as an investment, and they want something they can touch, they can feel, and they can also use the facilities. Like right now at Palm Jumeirah, we've got a whole ecosystem which is working. You've got malls, you've got nurseries, you've got your monorail running through the middle with amazing access. So for the Palm Jebel Ali to be something like that, we're looking
It's true.
very long,
Looking
long
into the
time down
future,
the
I mean,
road.
Palm
So
Jumeirah is tried and tested. Everybody likes it.
yeah, so
at least 10-15 years.
yeah,
that it's
I
working
am sure.
properly.
I am sure because that's how long it took for the Palm, and the Palm Jebali. We're just looking at something twice the size. So
That's just beginning.
that's
Yeah.
just beginning.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we covered the Palm topic. I think so. Suddenly, there was also a launch from Haptour. I didn't expect it that they can just push another project in there. I don't know. You know the plot because you have some properties there for rent. So it's like you have the 3 towers, then you have the Hilton on the right side with the V Hotel, and then you have the Damak icon. And then you have this plot which they just took after they... I mean, when is the project ready from Damak? I think this year, end of the year or beginning of next year. And they just launched a plot next to it that they will build their amazing tower from Haptour. What do you think, guys, about this?
Well, I'm surprised how quickly they're going to deliver on it because I think it's got a handover date 3 years out from now, and it's already 10% complete, at least according to the Dubai Rest app, and they've only just launched it. So yeah, I mean, Haptour has definitely surprised. I mean, I think the original project in Al Haptour city delivered some, luxury at amazing value, really interesting, competitive prices per square feet, amazing views, very nice little self-contained community where you got all these restaurants, the Haptour Palace, which is a very nice hotel within walking distance. You got canal access. So, I think if Haptour Tower, not Power, is a step further up on what they've delivered with their 3 existing towers, then I think people should be looking forward to that.
And they just cover the downtown view from the Icon City, I think so, from Damak. So
I mean, I think this happens in Dubai quite a lot.
Yeah.
You just got to build taller.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it, in the marina happen several times as well in Dubai
downtown.
Marina.
When you take a look, I don't know how many years back, downtown views, there was also the RP Heights and Damak, the towers there, and they just suddenly launched downtown views 1, 2, 3. They just built it up, and there was no view anymore to the Burj Khalifa.
I mean, look at Ima Beachfront, right?
The same.
The same scenario, but taken to extremes. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's, of course, it's still a nice view. If you're in the back row, but it's not what it used to be. You were sold a full sea view, and now it's still, once the Ima Beachfront will be completely ready, as they're handing over the projects now, it will be nice.
I mean, that's Dubai, so you need to take a look specifically. Okay, when you want to have a nice view, you need to be for sure that there is no possibility they do not any further construction. I had one talk with one Emirati guy. I was walking at the beach, at the Kite Beach.
Yeah.
And I was looking at the villa. I was, wow, this looks amazing. I was walking with someone, and he just said, and he just passed by, and suddenly he said, "Yeah, that's my villa for my family. I live here 15 years now." And I was like, he told me about the story, this, and afterwards we went for a coffee, and he told me even that they extended the whole Kite Beach. So it was just like, let's say 20 meters from the villa to the beach, to the water, and they just extended the beach to 200-300 meters. So that's Dubai.
Doesn't surprise me. Yeah, I mean,
it's crazy.
Which is crazy because even if you buy a seafront property, maybe they're gonna reclaim some land.
I mean, obviously in beachfront, I would say it will not happen because there's literally no space
like
for
the whole
the
geography
for the yacht. There's nothing going to be happen like this. But in other areas, like we just said, Haptour, downtown views, marina.
Yeah. There's always a risk, I guess, but you never know in Dubai. This is what I have learned. They're working with the best engineers, with the best minds in the world as well, to make some of these projects happen. And in my opinion, you never know. Like, they will always find a very creative way to do something, build a bridge somewhere, claim some more land. It's very shocking each time, but
I mean, Dubai is right now very full, so it's obviously there are a lot of people. There's a high demand right now to buy, so they need to think about ways to fill up the area very smart, not too clustery, but still to make good projects and sell a lot. So yeah, that's the case right now. That's the case. Okay, Salvador, let's talk about your experience 3 months now. What was your best experience right now? Like, what was the highest moment? I mean, real estate is going up and down and up and down. So what was the highest peak?
I mean, I think selling is always the highest moment. Selling, closing a deal. So, I mean, it's the lowest hanging fruit for me to talk about. I closed my first deal not that long ago, and I was really happy with the outcome, obviously because it closed, but I was happy with how smoothly it went. It's very rewarding when you have a frictionless process and you know that it was frictionless because you managed the client well, because you managed the interactions well, because you were there for him, because you were committed to service. Obviously, I have certain clients that haven't closed yet that have had more friction to the process, but at the end of the day, if I feel like I've done my best to build that client's confidence, to inform him, to challenge him on his initial assumptions when required, I think that's an interaction that I can be proud of as well.
Yeah, I mean, in the beginning, and this will, all brokers will tell you that it's the same. Build your network, go out and make the most out of your activities, and just get known more people, more owner, new buyer. So it's all the time the same, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I think what's important is just, keeping a steady pipeline, like always having the right amount of clients in your pipeline, so it's a consistent process. Otherwise, you do reach a stage where everything is standing still, and it's like, okay, you finished this client, very good. You sold him a property, you collected your commission, and then you're like, okay, now I have to start the process all the way from the beginning again. Whereas, if you have a steady pipeline, the closing comes consistently, which I think is very important, and it gives you confidence.
I think quantifying the pipeline is the most important thing, which I think is something that most agents are not doing. I think once you do a deal, you need to do a retro, and you need to see how many people did you need to call. I mean, because I think we do, from, especially when we get started, from the way out to closing a deal, we end up calling so many people. We end up, having so many people go through the funnel, get lost along the way. So I think quantifying the different stages of the funnel, I think, gives you good perspective going forward. I mean, listen, obviously, I think everybody wants conversions to be as high as possible, but it will tell you, first of all, how many calls you need to be doing going forward, but also where you can improve. I mean, there's so many benchmarks. You can look to your colleagues, see how they're converting. And that's what I've been doing. So,
yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
What would be a advice which you give to new freshers and they just desperate to sell in the first month? Because I know so many agents, they say, okay, I start with real estate, I know I'm very good in sales, I will close in the first month.
I mean, this is what you get sold. Sorry, from a lot of, let's say, advertising as well. I know there's a very strong, especially in the UK, hiring teams, which are very active. And I think, having been here a while now as well, and speaking to other people, and having seen, the turnover in this industry is just crazy. So having seen many people come and go, you need to be real as well with yourself a little bit, especially, when you do get offered a position, the barriers to entry are not very high in this industry at all, which I don't think is necessarily a positive, because, quantity doesn't equal quality.
Exactly.
But, you got to be realistic with yourself. If somebody tells you you're going to make X amount of money in the first month,
and
red flag.
Yeah. I'll add to that when the average quality in the pool is brought down, and makes life harder for all the agents, the good and the bad ones, because there are so many agents that it's so easy to be treated like a commodity, and so hard to prove your value, and so easy for your work to be cheapened in the eyes of a potential client, that I think one of the biggest challenges agents have is overcoming that first hump and that first interaction, because if you're asking for 15 minutes, you have very few opportunities and very little time to convince him that those 15 minutes of a client, which are very expensive to him, are worth the cost. To your point, what was the original question? We were talking about, for newcomers, they definitely get sold very high expectations. Obviously, their potential rewards are high because the potential effort is very high, and the majority of agents, I would say, are struggling. I think ultimately it's the result of two factors. It's the quality of your interactions and your actions. So this is like the Q score if you want, and it's a productivity. So you have guys who are very knowledgeable but think they can bank uniquely on their knowledge, and you can call one guy and that guy will buy. They just got the Midas touch. I mean, even an expert real estate agent doesn't have this. And you have the guys who maybe do a lot of cold calls, but they just don't know how to navigate an interaction. So this is a pretty tough place to be, because it can be so frustrating. You see yourself putting in the effort, the conversions are not there. So I think it's easier to overcome the knowledge gap because you're always learning, even as you're calling. A guy who's knowledgeable and doesn't have the resources, the phone numbers, or just most frequently the willpower to go out there, get to those contacts. And it's not just cold calls. I mean, social selling works, networking works, but if one way or another you're not putting yourself out there, that's what real estate engineering is. You're not doing it.
I mean, at the beginning, I remember I didn't get any leads from my first company. I stand 8 hours a day, let's 6 to 8 hours at the stand and just talking to people. I've been to coffee in lobbies and hotel lobbies, just drinking coffee because I was working from there. And
you must have drank a lot of coffee.
I met so many. I met so many people. I know even stories from people. They went to the elevator up down, and just standing in front of sales centers. Everything like this is what you should actually do at the beginning to build your network pretty fast, and later on it comes by itself, because this guy knows another one, and he wants to buy something else, and his friend wants to sell something, and then it just start running. And then you get when the company sees that you're an actual like a good agent, and you have the knowledge, you have your license, and everything is going good, you even get leads from the company.
It's crazy because you're putting all this effort to acquire new customers, and sometimes it's completely accidental, just drops in your hand. And you're speaking of the elevator story. I was actually in my own building, I made a new client because they were at a viewing and they were just asking like, oh, in this neighborhood, how much do the villas go for? And the agent said 300,000. They said, oh, wow, that's expensive. And I said, guys, you think that's expensive? I rented an apartment for 300K. And then we got to talking. I wasn't wearing a suit. I was wearing my gym clothes, still somehow managed to get their number. And now they're actually not looking to rent anymore. They're looking to buy.
Cool.
So that was a cool outcome.
So you flipped them.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Amazing. Yeah, this is how you keep your activities high and just go up and speak, right?
I think it's just really getting yourself out there, like going to even events, like networking events, even if it doesn't have to do with the industry at all. Like you can go to even crypto events, even if it's like some notary clubs. We were speaking about this the other day. Just exposing yourself, speaking to people. You're not just gonna meet clients, but I'm sure you're also gonna make some really good friendships there as well. Which they might know people, or maybe themselves or some friends of them. And yeah, the more people, the better. Also, the more you'll learn, right? You'll talk to people, you collect opinions, you collect perspectives, and I think it's the more information you have, the more you can make up your mind on your own opinion or perspective. So
yeah. Let's go back to the main point where I said, okay, first month closing, whatever. I remember, and I say it always, or we say it with Christian, with our HR manager, that in the first month, okay, it could be luck that you close a deal, but at least it needs time, 2 to 4 months at least, that you close your first deal. And this is a thing you will always need to keep in mind as a real estate agent, especially when you start fresh in sales. I would say, when you're already into sales, depends. I would say you need to learn a lot of stuff. You need to know how to qualify a client. You need to be high with the conversion. You need to be open to work on the weekends. You need to be open to work into night times when your clients are all over the world. Like, there are many points which comes together where your activity needs to be high. So, and your level of energy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Going back to like working all like. You're not working all the time, but you need to be available at all times.
That's the thing, yeah.
It's not like you're actively working and sitting in front of a laptop and doing stuff. It's more about you need to be reachable. I have many clients, for example, especially, for example, locals here. They like to they like to work very late or like do their work at night.
Yeah.
So sometimes, you know, you get their call at like 12, even 1 a.m. I get some calls of them, and I'm happy to answer them because I know it will be important for them.
It's pretty normal here.
Yeah, it is pretty normal. Like, it's just, you know, different cultures, they do it in a different way, right? And if you have someone in Europe, of course, it's going to be a different time. So like late night Zoom calls or even phone calls or whatever it is, it's very normal, and it's good to be responsive, and they definitely appreciate that as well.
Yeah.
So being available, making yourself available. Of course, sometimes it's not possible, but whenever it is.
We go to an end, guys. Was an amazing location. The first podcast I think we did with 3 people was just one podcast with Mark and Jürgen, but now we have 2 agents here sitting. So yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for being here, guys, in the podcast.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
And yeah, hear you in the next podcast. Yeah, for you guys. Okay. For Salvador, he just passed the test right now. Actual money, no, just kidding.
This is the cheat sheet.
This you're flipping.
Here.